Welcome back to Built to Ship, the podcast where we go behind the scenes with product leaders and founders shipping real AI products into the world. I'm thrilled to welcome Pete, founder and CEO of DesignTech AI, a platform that's built to automate and scale creative operations, tools like websites, content scheduling, AI agents for design and marketing. And with over 20 years in the design trenches and thousands of projects delivered, Pete's built a product that helps agencies and in-house teams deliver even faster. Pete, it's great to have you. Oh, sorry. It looks like you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I dropped my microphone on the floor just as you were introducing me, so good to be here.
Awesome. Well, it happens, the best of us. Yeah, but I'm curious to get a little bit about your background. What were you doing before this? Obviously, you've worked in the design and agency space for a long time, but tell us a bit more about that and where'd you get the idea for DesignTech?
Yeah, so my background, I actually studied traditional animation at university, like puppet animation. I did work experience for 2 weeks on the set of Bob the Builder in England. Wow. Immediately sold out, got into advertising. I told myself it was still animation, but it was basically animating flash banner ads. And my career has basically been in ad tech the whole time. On the creative side, in-house, producing everything from annoying banner ads, full takeovers, videos. So I started Gosling Media, which is my creative agency, 7 years ago now, and we've been very tech focused the whole time, I should say, using automation workflows. One of the most time consuming and expensive parts of creative production is actually just the communication and feedback cycles with clients. So we've automated a lot of that. And then most recently, we've been incorporating AI agents to actually handle a lot of that. Then I have DesignTech. I started last year, DesignTech AI, where we're actually doing more consulting with clients separate to marketing and creative, but actually helping companies integrate AI and actually unlock some of the capabilities.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's super interesting. I love how you're kind of taking that background, that deep expertise in the space and finding places where you can apply AI. And I'm curious, what are the places that you found that make the most sense? Where are places that you don't use AI? Tell us a bit more about that.
On the creative side, I tell people I'm trying to put myself out of business before somebody else does. So the creative automation is interesting because obviously image generation's come a long way. It can actually do text now, but there's platforms kind of like Canva style platforms, but that have a more open API aspect to them. I'm finding is the best. So using AI to run the workflows, but pre-designed templates that you're populating is still by far the best, because if the AI platform generates an image with text perfect the first time, awesome. But it's so often one word gets broken to the line below, and you can't actually edit that, right? You can talk to the AI, but it's just much easier to just edit it in an interface. But that's coming a long way, and it's only a matter of time before it's fully replacing my team of designers that I have. So that means that we're becoming more the orchestration strategy. As you know, people have stopped hiring junior developers. They're going this concept of everyone's becoming a leader because you're basically delegating to people or delegating to AI. Everything, right, is where it's heading. So on the creative side, right now, the AI agents we have in place are very much on the onboarding and communication with clients. So our clients, they repeat, they submit tickets, essentially. Our AI agent can look at what they provided us, make sure that the brief is clear, and then it actually looks at a database. So every ticket, we've done about 4,000 projects. Every one has a level of effort hours attached to it. So the AI agent it finds similar projects from the past, looks at how long they took, comes up with an estimated number of hours, and gives that back to the client through just like a chat interface.
Awesome.
And then we're building similar tools now, but more facing the designers to help the designers submit their work for approval and things like that faster.
Very cool.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're kind of automating some of the busy work so that your team can, do maybe less context switching and focus more on their leadership, as you mentioned, or creative aspects.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to develop those, like specifically, let's say that client interaction and ticket taking system? How long did that take? And did you ship it and then you realize, okay, we need to work on it for a few months to kind of train it to how you wanted to think about products? Or was it just working right out the box?
So we basically tested it with one client, and we haven't opened the floodgates to everyone yet. So we're a relatively small company. We've got about 20 clients that are like frequently submitting creative requests and marketing requests. But it's getting to the point. Well, so how long did it take? It's evolved a lot, and we only added AI, I'd say, in the last 6 months. Previously, it was all automation workflows, but very much just decision tree kind of logic. The actual technical implementation was pretty simple, using NA10 workflows and their AI agent to query. We're actually using Airtable to store all of the records. So those drag and drop widgets are amazing. I've got some developer experience. I used to make a lot of Flash applications using ActionScript, so it's very similar to JavaScript. But yeah, these interfaces make it really, really simple. And then they have evaluation tools where you can, submit, say, 20 different types of requests, and it processes it, in front of you, so you can see if it's doing the right thing. So yeah, we've got it. I'd say like half of our clients are using it right now.
Awesome. And you mentioned that you were using other automation tools before this, maybe a little bit more decision tree based. What have you found are like the biggest unlocks with using LLM based non-deterministic systems?
Yeah.
Was it saving time on setting them up because you don't have to write all the rules? Does it actually perform better in every category? Are there places that, more traditional automation logic is still better?
So for creative production, the AIs have been so much easier to spin up new workflows, right? So in the past, say I wanted to create a social media post, and the software I'm using has API endpoints for getting an authentication key, list all the templates, pick a template, populate the heading, populate the image, and all that. So it's all like step by step. And even in Zapier and tools like on make.com, unless it's like a well-known platform like Slack or something, they don't always have the off-the-shelf integration. So every single step was basically a custom API call, and it's so easy to make mistakes with those things. What I love about the MCP and the AI agents is the tool I'm using for the creative has an MCP client with all of its documentation. So the agent, it's just like 2 steps. It's like, here's the documentation, connected, a post request. And to generate one creative, you see it going backwards and forwards as it's processing it. It like does 4 API calls and then spits out the image. It's amazing. So I didn't even have to look at the documentation as soon as I saw the MCP link. So yeah, I'm excited for more companies to be providing that level of integration, because it's just plug and play.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It in a way, like reading through docs is kind of the analogous busy work for engineers. Integrations are, notorious for being one of the most painful and, the types of projects they don't love spending time on because you're not building your core product. And so if this allows a human, or in this case, an agent, to self-serve, that feels pretty groundbreaking. So it sounds like you're mostly using agentic use cases, or powering these workflows with agentic systems. You're not using any traditional decision tree workflows anymore, or do you still have some?
Yeah, we have a combination. So a lot of the creative process in terms of like the onboarding of a project is still mostly a workflow. but the AI is kind of fetching and making sense of the data better than we ever could before with just like static logic. But I'm doing some consulting gigs at the moment I've got a marketing workflow for a company at the moment that promotes a lot on LinkedIn. And it's the classic, like, they don't have someone really in-house to manage it. Each post becomes like a massive time suck. So I've got a good sort of strategy for LinkedIn, if you don't have much time, is just finding articles that other people have written in the industry and posting them with your commentary why this is a good thing for someone to read. It establishes like thought leadership without you having to produce original content from scratch. So I'm using simple RSS feeds. I've got about 20 industry website RSS feeds. And every morning, the AI basically pulls in the most recent articles. I've trained it on this particular company's, what it is they sell, the topics that are interesting to them as a business. So it filters out, picks out an article, sends it to this creative tool that I was talking about, creates like a branded image and posts it to LinkedIn. In between, just before it posts it, it sends me a Slack and you can approve or decline. But if I hit approve, it just goes off and posts it to LinkedIn. And that's been fantastic. We also, with that archive of all of these articles that we're storing, once a week, it generates an email newsletter. So it grabs all the social posts that we've done, but also like some of the other articles maybe. And it just makes a weekly digest for busy executives who don't have time to run through all of the news articles. You get a weekly review, and it's all written with AI. It's not just a template of links. It's literally spotting the trends of the articles and writing it from the point of view of my client, why this is interesting. So
very cool.
That's been working phenomenally well. Yeah.
Sounds like you have a wide range of use cases, and there's different components to them. It's, from summarizing text, and then there's also integrations with Slack for approval to keep human in the loop.
Yeah.
I want to talk a bit more about like the evals that you mentioned. You mentioned that there's a way in N8N to kind of test things out before you deploy.
Yeah.
I would also consider personally that like this Slack human in the loop approval process is a form of evaluation. You're deciding, hey, I'm going to give my feedback here. I'm going to say yes or no. Tell me a bit more about, how you think about evaluating if this system's good. Are there any cases where you ask your customers, are you happy with the AI output that's happening? Or is it all like facing internally, and so you all are the judge? Who's like the end judge of if this system is performing as you expect, and how do you track that?
Yeah, so as we're building the workflow, the tool in N8N, you create the workflow, and then you can provide it a list of however many, like 20, 100 example triggers. And then you just watch it, and there's always areas where something will stop working or get stuck, right? So you refine it that way. Then I actually Slack myself pretty much every step almost, just so I can see it happening for debugging. But I have like a dev channel with the notifications turned off, and that's just like a stream of events. And then the ones that are client facing, we've done a lot of work before it gets to them. But yeah, the clients that are using it at the moment, we're asking them for feedback, but so far it's been good. I've got another one coming up for a law firm where they're sending out something like 500 demand letters for people that haven't paid bills, I think a week. And they've got a tool that kind of templatizes it, but there's enough variations in their needs that AI is going to be able to help them format things to then submit to the template generator. So that's an interesting one as well.
Great. Awesome. Well, I want to throw up your website on the screen for a sec, and tell me a bit more about who are your customers, like who's someone who would want to work with DesignTech AI? How do they get in touch? How do they follow along? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so DesignTech AI at the moment is a platform for just very quickly. So Gosling Media is my creative agency. Over the years, I've built software to help me run my business. So DesignTech AI, the genesis really was a platform to give the software built internally to other creative professionals. But as we've been doing more and more of this AI consulting work, DesignTech AI is now my vehicle for that side of the business too. So the website's very much offering technology to agencies and freelancers. And it has a lot of AI agents in the platform for people to set up the standard sort of chatbots where you can hook up a knowledge base and have it answer simple questions for you. That's yeah. DesignTech AI has contact information on there.
Great. And sounds like you've spent time developing these tools. You're seeing success with them yourself in your own practice. And so why not make them more accessible through a software offering to other folks in the industry? That's amazing.
I mean, particularly creative services, they don't teach you any business in art school. And I know a lot of fresh graduates that are just like, what the hell do I do now? Like just finding your first clients. There's a lot of stuff I wish I knew when I first graduated. So I'm trying to sort of pass on that information. Yeah.
That's great. Well, really appreciate your time, Pete. It's great hearing about your businesses and what you've built so far with AI. I'm looking forward to keeping in touch and following along with DesignTech AI's journey. And thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.